Hey y'all, it's Jay from Jay's Decor and Restore. Welcome back to the final video in the cable spool into a patio table series. If you've watched some of my other videos on this project, I appreciate your support. Again, feel free to share with your friends. This has been a great project. But before getting started, I have a really important question for you. What do you think of my hat? If you watched my other video on my story and how I got into this business, I mentioned I like to glam it up from time to time, so I thought I'd get a glittery hat. Anyhow, let's go ahead and we're going to get started with the last part of the video, and that is I'm going to start working on the bar stools. I finished the table and I have put it aside now for now because I do need to polyurethane the rest of the base and the planks. But that is going to be the last thing that I do. And since you've seen me polyurethane in one of my other videos, I'm really not going to go into that again. But I am going to go ahead and get started with the bar stools. And here is one of the bar stools that I'm going to be working on. This is the portion that I'm going to incorporate the California flag. So you really don't want to miss this one. This is going to be fun. I've never painted a bear or any type of animal, so fingers crossed that it turns out well. No, I know it will. I have never, but I do have a stencil that I'll be using for that. I did want to go over just a couple of quick things, and really there's not much for me to show you in this since you've already seen me paint and you've already seen me sand. I'm really just going to be using for this one a block sander. It's because of the shape of it and it's kind of an odd shape. What I want to do is just kind of get some of that glossy laminate that they've used on this, rough it up a little bit so that I can start painting. But before I start painting this, with the two colors I'm going to use, red and white, I am going to prime it. So all you got to do is just take the sander and just add a little muscle and just scrape off, some of that gloss. You'll see it just kind of flake off here. And that's pretty much all there is to it. I'm going to do the top and I'm going to do the legs, and then I'll be back after I've painted them, and I'll show you a little bit about the stencil. So we'll see you in a bit. Welcome back for the final reveal of the cable spool that I turned into a patio table. I have to say I am so incredibly pleased with the final result. I stepped out of my comfort zone for this one. I had never done this before. So, I wasn't sure. I knew I was going to try my very best, but I wasn't sure what the final result was going to come out to be. And I am so incredibly pleased with how it turned out. There were a few missteps, and one of them was I mentioned in my last video that I was going to do a stencil of the California flag on the bar stools. It didn't go so well. There was some bleeding under the stencil, and so the lines didn't come out, clean for the bear and also for the California Republic, lettering on there. So what I did do is I created that image on my Cricut machine and used the permanent vinyl that I'd mentioned on one of my other videos. If you haven't seen the other parts of this project, go out and take a look at them. I mean, I walk you step by step on how to do it yourself. And so it's really not that hard. But I am going to get you closer to the actual final project. I was trying to get it into this part of the video, but I just couldn't get a really good view of it. So I'm going to go ahead and come back, and I'm going to give you kind of a 360 of the entire patio table and the bar stool. So we'll be right back. So here is the final reveal of the table. Like I said, it just came out amazing, if I say so myself. The lines for the flag turned out nice and clean using the frog tape I mentioned. I even painted, remember those rusted, ugly hardware that was on the table? I painted them to match the parts of the flag. And then the star, as I mentioned, I use a vinyl, permanent vinyl, so that it was a nice clean star. And then here are the bar stools. And I was surprised at how wonderfully the vinyl just kind of blended into the stool. It almost looks like I did paint it. But this is permanent. And so, and then I added polyurethane, a couple of coats of polyurethane just to make sure it doesn't peel off. I did the center. Remember, it was the cardboard, ugly cardboard center. And those were the planks that I showed you. I cut on the, I'm trying to get around so you can see. I did the different colors of the flag. And then I added some stars around, all around the rim of the table. So, again, very, very happy. I actually sent a picture to the buyer and he was just ecstatic as to the results. So I always aim to please. And as you can see, I have another cable spool. This one's a really big one. So I do custom orders. If you live in San Antonio, Texas, message me. I have some ideas on this one, but always willing to, you know, do whatever it is that folks are looking for. And so add a message to the bottom of this video and I'll reach out to you. And so I will be right back. And one more project finished. What are your thoughts? Let me know what you thought about it, how it turned out. Again, if you live in the San Antonio area, message me. And let me know if you're interested in submitting a custom order or repurposing a piece of furniture that you have. I'd be happy to talk to you about that. It's amazing to see how some of these things that I've been working with, you can actually turn them into something beautiful. I would have never thought that a cable spool, you could be turned into a patio table. So I was very happy with the end result. If you haven't watched the other videos, please do so. And, you know, consider subscribing to my channel. The next video I plan to do is going to be on staining an old trunk that belonged to my husband's grandmother. It's an antique, and it's just needed some TLC, and I'm going to turn that into a coffee table for us. So stay tuned for that. And again, as I always finish my videos, it is to celebrate my accomplishments. So thanks for joining. Consider subscribing. Cheers.